Okay. In the previous session, we stopped with this sketch in part 1. So we start with the part 2 of this sketch. We completed this sketch and the sketch is now fully constrained. Okay. So now I exit the sketch. Okay. So once the sketch is exited, I will try to extrude this surface normal to the sketch plane. I'll just say extrude. I pick this and let's say it comes out. Okay, and now we are in surfacing, so just make sure it's completely out of your water bottle. Okay, so I don't need a solid one. I'll make it as a sheet. I just say okay here. Okay, so now you can see my sheet is generated. Okay, once this is done, I will offset this outer profile of the water bottle by 3 mm inside it. So that will define the depth of the depression. So I use offset surface, offset surface, set it inside, reverse the direction by 3 mm. Okay, so here you can see the offsetted surface is here. Okay, so once this offset is done, so what I would do, I would do the trim sheet. I will trim this offsetted sheet using the extrude that we have done. So I will hide the outer face of the bottle. I'll hide it. I'm using this offsetted surface and I will trim it off. Okay. This trim sheet. So you can see, I think we are making a mistake. We need to trim this sheet. So I use trim sheet, pick this one and pick this body. And I just say I want only this portion of it. Just say okay, let's see the result. No, we want the other way around. So I do a Control Z and I say trim sheet, pick this one and this one. I don't want this portion. I say discard and I just say okay. Okay. So now you see the middle portion of the trim sheet is now ready. Okay. So once this trim sheet is done, now I will take the outer profile of the water bottle and then I will trim this outer profile using this body. Okay, so I take this trim sheet and okay, I don't know my control set happened. I have to do the trim sheet again. Okay, I have this portion. I take this back and then I use this trim sheet, trim this one with respect to this one, and just say I want to keep this portion of the water bottle. Just say okay. Okay. I think I made a mistake. I don't want this portion. Change it. This one. I don't want this. I will discard this portion. Just say okay. So now you see the depression is inside. So this portion only I needed it. Okay. This is done now. Once this is done, I will trim this sheet using this boundary. So I don't want all these extra portions, right? Again, I will trim it. So now I'll trim. I have to take a depression here. So I will take the trim sheet, pick this as a sheet body, and I pick this body and just say like this. So I want something like this. So my depression is now created on the water bottle. Okay. So once this is done, I have to trim off the unwanted portion on the inner side of the water bottle. So you see this is an unwanted portion. So that I will trim it off using this boundary. Okay, I think I have to pick the other surface, pick this one, and then use this as my boundary. I don't want this portion. I say discard. I just say okay. So now you see it is discarded completely. Only the depression is staying. Okay. So now this portion is now done. So now I want to do a pattern here all around the bottle. So for that, before that, I will sew the surface, join these surface together. So to joining, I have to take the sew command, pick the sew, and then pick this and this surface. I'm sewing them together. So once this is done, it's okay to do the geometry or the pattern geometry. So I'll go to home, go here more or here. I will find pattern geometry. Okay. So here I take circular and I use the object that is the sew surface and then the vector to be z-axis. The center point can be this one. Just trying to pick the center point. Use the center of the bottom face. Okay. So here with pitch and count, what I'm doing. So I want 4 and then on for the pitch angle you can 360 degree divided by 4, something like this. So you have all 4 faces like this. Okay. So now you see everything is created. Now you need to trim this sheet using this. So I use trim sheet. I want to keep this portion and then I think you can pick all the other surfaces as well. Now it should be okay. So now you see the outer profile. We have received it. Okay, we have done the pattern as well. So once this pattern is done, so now we'll go to the base of the water bottle. So for that we need to draw a sketch in XY plane. So I create a new sketch with XY plane and just say okay. And then I draw I remove auto dimension and then I will draw a square of 55 by 55. So I use this rectangle method center using this as a center. Pick like this. Then I dimension it by 55 by 55. Okay. It should be within this boundary. So that's why I have used 55 by 55. And once this is done, maybe we can add filleting to it. I will add a fillet of fillet of 10 all around, something like this, and then I finish the sketch. Okay, so my bottom base sketch is now ready, and on that sketch I'll try to do an extrude. Okay, extrude that particular sketch. I don't want first let's define how much depth we want there. So I will define that height to be 12. Okay, I don't want a solid feature. I'll make it as a sheet. Yes, and then I want to have a draft as well. So I say for the draft from the start, and let's say 30°. Yes, 30°, something like this. It should be okay. And I just say okay. So now the sheet is generated already. So you can confirm it by taking a section here. I'll take a new section. I flip it and I move it down. So by this you can see our section. The one that we extruded is this surface. Maybe I can change the color of it so that it's easily visible. You can see here, this is the new surface that we have generated. So I will trim this. I'll come out of this section, unclip it, and then I will have to trim it off. I use trim sheet. From this using the new extrude that we have done. Okay, and now you can see this is how it will look like. So we want to keep that. Just say okay. So you see this sheet is now generated, and there is a slot here, so we need to fill that. Since it is planar, you can use bounded plane. Just fill that surface. So like this you can close the surface for the bottom of the bottle. So now the bottom of the bottle is done. So now let's go to the lip portion of it. So for that, let's go and draw on YZ plane or any vertical plane for that matter. Okay, I'll create a new section using this particular plane and I just say okay. Yeah, I remove auto dimension. So now we are going to draw the lip portion of it. So for that, what I do, I take a profile, use this edge, I draw a particular vertical line with a length of let's say 3 mm. An angle I'll make it as 90. Okay. So after this, I will draw a horizontal line that is of 1.5 mm length with the angle of 0. And then I draw again a vertical line with a length of 1.5 mm, an angle of 90. Okay, this vertical portion is now done. And then again I will draw a particular horizontal line with 1 mm length and 0°. So this is done. And then I will draw a vertical line directly. Something like this. Length we will define it later. So I pick this length from start to this edge. Okay, so here you see there is an issue here. It is not exactly on this on a circle. So what I do, will do that. And then I will define this length to be 25 mm. Okay, and then I will take an intersection curve. Okay, got an intersection curve here. And then I'll try to constrain using coincident, this one and this newly created point. Okay, now we see the sketch is fully constrained also. So once this is done, so now what I do, I finish the sketch. So now we need to revolve. So for that, to home, under extrude, you will find revolve option. Revolve using this one, and the center point is the center of the arc, something like this. And then you can say dash sheet if you want it as a sheet only, and just say okay. It's 360-degree. Let's say okay. So now you have received the we have done the lip portion of the water bottle as well. Okay, so after that, now let's try to sew all the surfaces, because the bottom is in a different sheet, the middle portion is in a different sheet, and lip is a different sheet. So I'll go to surface, and then I try to sew it. I sew it. Base 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, the base, and this one, and this one. Everything is now sewed together. So now my water bottle is almost ready. So now the only portion that is left over is to apply thickness to this bottle. So I will use thicken option, pick this entire body, and it should be um, outside, and then should go inside, in fact, and then I say thickness of 1 mm. Okay, so now my water bottle is with the thickness of 1 mm as well. So now I will use Control W to hide all the surfaces, shape bodies, sketches, datums. Everything is now hidden. Maybe I can hide the points as well. Okay, so now you see my water bottle is ready completely. The only portion that is left over is to add some fillets. So now that let's do that. So I use home option and do edge blend. Okay, so maybe I'll reduce this value. It's too big. Let's say 4 mm. This edge is not picked. That's why it's showing an error. Apply 4 here, and then I'll apply 4 mm fillet here as well. And then on this outer boundary as well. Like this. Okay. The base is now ready. And then next I go to this area. I make a bigger fillet, let's say 5. I think I can still increase it, let's say 10. And all these edges. All around the bottom. I pick the wrong edge. I use shift button to deselect, and then I pick the right edge. So now all around is picked. I just say apply. The fillet is applied for these edges, and now for these vertical inside edges I'll apply 0.5. Not this one, the inner one. Take tangent curves so that I don't pick one by one individually. Radius is now done. And next we'll apply the outer radius. So I will pick this and try to increase it to 1. Then up to 2, it's okay. Let's say apply. Okay, fillet is applied here. And maybe the last portion is the lip portion of it. Lip portion, I'll just apply fillet to the bottom base. This one, I'll change it to 4, 5, then apply it. And then for all the remaining edges, let's apply a very minimal fillet. 5. Okay, seems to be okay. Finish it. So now you see your water bottle is completely ready with all the fillets applied. Thank you all. See you in another video. Bye bye.